This is Lee from the Law School Toolbox and the Bar Exam Toolbox.
Welcome back. Today we are welcoming Jennifer Berry, a member of the Law School Toolbox and Bar Exam Toolbox team, who is sharing some insights from her time as a bar exam grader. So how do you make the grader's job easy? How do you make them happy when they pick up your paper?
So I think one of the things that probably drives students a little bit crazy is like that IRAC, right? Constantly being told you need to IRAC this, and it's something that you need to do in most legal settings throughout your career. So like kind of get used to it. But it's very helpful to to follow that direction when you're writing things. Because otherwise, if you're just sort of writing in a flow without thinking about setting out exactly the title of the section you're doing is your issue, and then the rule that you're going to be applying, making it super easy for your grader to see that you understood the rule, and then giving a good analysis that really does go through and apply that rule step by step. In a conclusion, I could take or leave. It didn't matter too much if you forgot to conclude, because I could usually tell what you were concluding through your analysis. But in particular, the I or an A portion make it very easy for your grader to be able to assess the point, making sure that you actually hit on every one of the important things in the question. And then, of course, also, I'm sure annoying for students to hear over and over again is you do need to know the law. That said, if you don't know the law, you can still do pretty well by drawing on your own experience and understanding of the law in general, so long as you do it in confidence.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Go forward saying things that may or may not be totally correct, but are close enough.
Yeah. Years and years ago, when I first started writing about the bar exam, I wrote some blog posts that your answer needs to be wearing a suit and not sweatpants. Like this idea that you have to kind of dress it up and like pretend like you know what you're talking about, which is exactly what you do when you're a lawyer. Every lawyer gets caught off guard in some meeting and does not know exactly what they're talking about. But part of being like in the outfit and in the persona is that you just present yourself as in that, and I think that you can do that in writing. I mean, I have always been surprised at how you can feel the anxiety or the uncertainty in someone's work, even when you have no idea who they are or, have any information, but you can feel that they're running out of time or you can feel that they are lost, and giving it that idea of like, I'm going to put it in a tailored suit. It's going to be organized. It's going to follow IRAC. It's going to, hit all these points, can kind of dress it up. And then you're not like waving a flag to the grader saying, oh, hey, I'm out of time. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am flustered, because that can't help the grader, give you all of these points like, well, this person's ready to go practice law.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely read. I mean, there were students who just had thought out, or like, I'm very nervous, or I'm running out of time. And while that can be helpful to know, it wouldn't necessarily do you any favors, right? In the process. So yeah, pretending essentially that you know what you're talking about and saying the words in a way that makes it sound like, I should believe you. I should start to question whether I know what I'm talking about based on what's coming out your fingers in whatever the case may be in that situation. It's important. And I think in that process, like you can say something that's not quite right and still get a good portion of the points for that section, especially if you're this is consistent and makes sense. If you say something like just absolutely wrong, I mean, we definitely had moments where we said things in our group meetings where I was like, well, this person's just lost. They just very clearly don't know what the rule is here. But if you're able to gather on what what you can remember, you usually can kind of find the plot somewhere in there.
Yeah. I mean, I remember on my bar, I had to make up some law. I mean, almost everyone has I made up law in my bar story. Yes. And because there's often some wacky question that tests law that most people don't know. And I do remember being like, well, I'm sure that there is some reasonableness element to this. I'm just going to like hang my hat on reasonableness and
Right.
go
If all
for
else
it.
fails.
If all else fails, you know? But I do think that you have to practice being confident in that. And one of the things, we talk to our students about is you can't only do essays where you know the law.
Yeah.
Because you have to practice the art of dressing it up and pretending like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that it's really important to practice essays that look scary to you.
Yeah.
I had an essay in my exam as well that I still like, went and looked back this year to see what it was. And I'm like, huh, that really threw me. Now I probably know what I was trying to say, but it was definitely, it threw me. And it threw everybody else too, because they were all talking about it as we walked out.
Yes. Yes. At the time that I took the bar, most people took a lecture from this Barbary lecturer, like the same lecturer.
Yeah.
And he had this saying of like, if you don't know it, nobody knows it. And after that session, someone in the room of the thousands and thousands of people at the Oakland Coliseum yells into the room, if you don't know it, nobody knows it. And everybody just started laughing because we all knew what he was talking about. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give us a like and leave a comment. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via the contact form at lawschooltoolbox.com. Thanks for watching.